Live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Another day of rain, this time off and on, but when it's been on, we have seen some steady showers.
We sure have. Let's get right to meteorologist Adam Caskey tracking some scattered downpours in the area. Adam.
Wasn't it a beautiful day?
Yeah.
Little of everything. Sunshine, rain, and the rain didn't come all at once. It was able to soak in. Yesterday was a very slow soaking rain, and today, a lot heavier rain is what we have out there at the moment. And you look at it, and some of the heaviest downpours really over the southwest side of San Antonio right now. This is all right along and south of Highway 90, particularly, let's get into the neighborhoods here, get into Columbia Heights, Palo Alto College area, just near Lackland Air Force Base, and especially south and east of Lackland Air Force Base. Now, these showers and these downpours, the clock is ticking because once we lose our sunlight in the daytime heating, they become fewer and far between, and so our rain chances will continue to drop off through this evening. And after sunset, really just maybe a stray sprinkle here and there. That's it. More than anything, a very humid night tonight with temperatures falling down into the 70s. Another slight opportunity tomorrow and into next week. We'll talk about that along with the new drought monitor and how much rain will be taken into account for the next one in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. We'll check out traffic right now, and we're going to go to I-10 and Probant, and you can see it is raining there. Also, somebody stalled off to the side of the interstate. Dangerous place to be. You can see most of the cars are getting out of that lane. No emergency vehicles on the scene just yet. Again, what appears to be a stalled vehicle at I-10 and Probant.
What's the best way to spend more than $1 billion? That's what the city has been asking San Antonians in the ramp up to the pending city budget talks.
The City Hall reporter Garrett Berger is here to take us through some recent survey results and what San Antonians want the city to do in their neighborhoods. Garrett, what's at the top of the list?
Hey, pay money to KSAT. I'm just kidding. No, well, they did do two surveys, actually. An open one, mainly online. They got about 5,100 responses, and a statistically valid survey with about 1,100 responses that they hired an outside research company to do. And that's the one that got the most discussion today as they unveiled the results. The survey combined responses on the need for and importance of various city services, and that created a list of priority investments. Top of the list, streets, with police and sidewalks also in that top tier. Now, homeless camp cleanups and homeless services, which were combined into one item in last year's survey, still made the top priorities. Now, the city's SA Speak Up survey, that's the less formal one, got slightly different results, with police, affordable housing, homeless services, and fire and EMS being the top priorities that people said they wanted to see. Now, City Manager Eric Walsh says the surveys aren't the end-all be-all, though, as city staff craft a draft budget.
It's one of our points of guidance here. The council goal-setting session, the ongoing policy conversations that the council has on a litany of things. The survey is important, both the SA Speak Up and the budget survey.
Now we'll see how much weight each of these get when staff present their draft budget in mid-August. In the meantime, the city has a dashboard where you can actually drill down into some of these responses, see for yourself where and what people were thinking they needed to see.
Yeah, a lot of basics when you're just talking about streets and, of course, crime, things like that. Any surprises on the survey?
Well, there were a few surprises that we saw. It's best to see this year's results, though, compared to last year's to really understand the difference. So right there, we've got animal care services highlighted in yellow over on the left. That was last year's budget survey. You can see it was one of the top things and it ended up getting a record bump to its budget. This year, though, ACS noticeably lower, both in the ranking and its overall score. City Manager Eric Walsh, though, says to him it's not that big of a difference and noted it's still a high priority. Affordable housing, that's the one it highlighted in green, also fell on the list of priorities, though not as dramatically.
And there was also more to this survey, not just budget priorities, right?
Absolutely. They actually combined this with satisfaction with overall city services. And that was something that they really wanted to toot their horns about. We're going to take a look at what we've got here. So overall quality of city services, you can see that the city would be happy. 87% responded that they were really satisfied or very satisfied with city services. That's up from 74% 2 years ago. That was the last time that they did do this survey. So city obviously very excited about that particular response.
Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward. Any controversy that was found in the numbers are going forward.
Well, not so much in the overall results from what we heard. I don't think anybody's terribly surprised by some of the things that came up. But one thing that we did hear was that the amount of time that the survey was open. That's SA Speak Up survey. That was the one that was more open. You could go online and take it. They also had paper results that they could distribute, or paper survey cards that they could distribute at town meetings. And what we heard from the District 1 councilwoman was that she felt this wasn't enough time. They only opened that up for about 3 weeks. And she said there were meetings where she wanted to give out these survey cards and it was already closed. They couldn't give their opinions. So she thought that was kind of a lack of planning. That was the biggest issue that I heard today. But we'll see what everybody comes up with once the budget comes out. Again, Eric Walsing thinks that's going to be about August 15th, where they present the draft, and we'll see how your tax dollars are going to be spent.
Okay, we'll watch it. Thank you, Garrett.
Thanks, Garrett.
We're going to stick at City Hall here today. The City Council passed those new SAWS drought rules. Starting in July, SAWS will begin charging violators on their bills instead of having to go to municipal court. The cost of penalties goes up for larger users and repeat offenders. SAWS is also implementing new watering hours. Those take effect immediately. To see a full breakdown of the new drought restrictions, just scan the QR code right there in the corner of your screen.
And cracking down on gang members. Today, the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing a multiple law enforcement effort leading to 24 gang members being arrested and now indicted. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, 24 alleged gang members indicted by a grand jury suspected of being part of Hermanos de Pistoleros Latinos, or HPL. They're described as a prison gang that are prominent in many Texas cities. The U.S. Attorney says they are known for trafficking drugs and guns.
I want to thank our federal, state, and law enforcement partners, led by the FBI and DEA in this case, for their ongoing commitment to investigating these issues that are important to our communities, and for the commitment and the continued commitment of reducing violence and firearm and drug crimes that plague our communities.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says many of the indicted gang members facing anywhere between 5 years to life in prison.
Let's go to court now. A shocking confession heard by a jury today. Andres Tarnava is on trial for fatally shooting and burning a San Antonio woman back in the spring of 2021. In a video that was shown to jurors, Tarnava described how he shot Marisol Klingelhofer 4 times and then took her body out to his property. He said to get rid of her remains, he burned her.
When you burned her, how many pieces did you have to cut her up into? Did you cut her up?
Only small bone fragments were later found in 2 small barrels on his property. Those barrels also shown to the jury as well. Tarnava told investigators that he had to make Marisol Klingelhofer pay for allegedly stealing items from him that belonged to his late father. Tomorrow, the defense is expected to begin their case. If they're found guilty by the jury, Tarnava is facing up to life in prison. We're live streaming that trial as well. You can watch live on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and the KSAT YouTube page. One early morning fire caused damage at 2 different homes today, and in one case, there isn't much left of a home for a family who lived there.
Yeah, the damage extensive. Katrina Weber shows us why some of what they lost simply can't be replaced.
No matter how much water San Antonio firefighters used, flames got the best of this home not far from Petranco and South Ellison roads. The fire, which started in the garage before 5 this morning, managed to spread, sending a couple who lived in the 700 block of Cypress Brook out and running for help.
And she rang the doorbell, but we didn't know that their phones got melted.
Karen Parcham woke up to her next-door neighbor begging her and her husband to call 911. They also got out of their home just in case.
And the flames were already shooting over to our house.
While the people in the burning home also made it out safely, firefighters say their pets did not. They say they found 3 cats dead and feared a dog who was missing suffered the same fate. Hours later, that couple's children took stock of the damage, wondering what, if anything, they could salvage. I spoke to some of the family members off camera. They say this had been their home for decades. In fact, neighbors tell me this was the very first house in the whole area. So this is a big loss in more ways than one.
The windows all cracked on the bottom, the chimneys all melted.
Parcha, meanwhile, realized her own home wasn't exactly safe from harm. The heat from the fire melted the siding on her house.
The whole backside over there looks just like this.
From one fire, 2 families now are wondering what to do next, how to make their houses a home again. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Tonight, police in Round Rock have arrested a teenager in connection to a shooting that killed 2 mothers and injured 14 other people. The suspect has been identified as 17-year-old Ricky Thompson. That shooting happened during a Juneteenth festival last weekend that was attended by hundreds of people. Round Rock police say that Thompson was not alone.
We are still looking for other suspects. We are still continuing to gather all evidence, continue to talk to witnesses, and we'll continue to do everything that we can to bring everybody involved to justice.
Police say the shooting happened after some kind of fight broke out between 2 groups of people. Thompson is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a second-degree felony. Authorities in Round Rock say those charges could be upgraded.
To Katy, Texas now, where a family of martial arts instructors stopped an alleged attempted sexual assault at a business next door to theirs. According to the family, they heard screams coming from next door. They say they went into the business and saw a man attacking a woman. The father used his skills to subdue the 20-year-old sexual assault suspect until police arrived. One of the sons says the man bit and scratched his dad. He says they're not necessarily heroes. They just did the right thing.
A man is on top of a girl trying to assault her. I mean, what's the right thing to do? Take him off and hold him there until he gets arrested.
The man is being charged with attempted sexual assault and with assaulting the father. Despite training in martial arts for years, the family says they've never had to use their skills outside of the studio until now. Still ahead here on the news at 6. Have you ever heard of fifth disease? It's something that's going around in kids. After the break, a look at what the symptoms are and what to do about them. But first, let's take a look outside with live cam. Still some passing downpours in our viewing area. Nice to see them. Meteorologist Adam Caskey will have a look at where that rain is headed and what comes next.
We go behind the kitchen door on the night beat. Dead pests and food stored on the floor found at a handful of San Antonio restaurants. Tonight, Danielle Ibarra takes us behind the kitchen door for that and much more. See you at 10.
Have you seen a mysterious rash on your child's face? Most of the time it's right there, right on the cheeks. Well, chances are it's something called fifth disease, which is also known as slapped cheek. It's going around right now. Pediatricians say it's usually nothing serious, nothing to worry about. If the fever that goes along with this persists for longer than a week, or if your child is immunosuppressed, you might want to consult a doctor. Otherwise, just treat the symptoms. Ibuprofen for the aches and pains, and allergy medication for the itchy rash.
Usually just the antihistamines that are over the counter can work and help a little bit with the itchiness. Sometimes the Benadryl creams can help as well.
Doctor also told us that once that rash appears, usually kids are no longer contagious at that point. Adults that usually have an immunity because we were all exposed to this sometime in childhood. If you're pregnant, you could have complications though, so it's recommended that pregnant women isolate from their sick kids just in case.
Kids at a musical summer camp getting ready to show off what they learned. The Children's Chorus of San Antonio for children ages 7 to 12 meant to empower children through music by allowing them to express themselves creatively.
All of the songs make me really happy. We're all friendly here. We're just going to be welcoming and have some fun.
The students will get to show off their skills tomorrow at the Tobin Center. Wow, great venue.
I know.
The free concert starts at 6 p.m.
Tobin Center, that's big time.
Yeah.
And we have had some big time rain. It's kind of kept us guessing all day, but I didn't mind it.
No, the more the merrier. That's what I say when it comes to rain in June.
And on my barefoot walk today, I embraced it. It was great.
Whoa.
Were you
Okay.
walking just straight up barefoot in the rain?
Yeah, absolutely. And it felt good because it was after my workout because these, the showers would come through and I just embraced it, loved it. It felt so good, cooled me off.
To live next door to you.
You just kind of throw in these things like, oh, you guys, my barefoot walk. Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to do it. Consult your doctor, but this is my thing.
All right.
Dr. Caskey.
One of my things, right? Barefoot walk, sit on the floor for 30 minutes a day to help your mobility. Anyway, whatever.
And forecasting and talking about the weather.
And making thermometers. We've got another winner today. We do. Renaissance man. That's one way to put it. Or just weirdo. I don't know. But Myra, you're kind of right. Some neighbors have said when they've seen me in shoes, what are you doing with shoes on?
I love it.
Trying to toughen up my feet out there. It's good for the summertime, good for the soul, good to connect with Mother Nature and Earth. Okay, I'll stop being weird. It's good for the soul. Eh? I'll stop being weird and let's just talk forecast. We have these isolated showers east of I-35, more numerous west of I-35. That's the original activity that's been moving through, but it's going to be less numerous. We're not going to have as many showers going forward over the next few hours. Look at this downpour right here on the far northeast. This is right over Bracken Batcave, just passed over Bracken. And then 1604 to Madison High School, over toward Wetmore to 281. This is just north of the airport. Another shower that's hitting part of the airport, just not the entire grounds of the airport. That has been the nature of these tropical downpours that we've had so far today. And we go to the far west side. It's good to see a downpour here as well. Stevens High School over towards SeaWorld, Northwest Vista. And this is right along 1604, just now south of Brennan High School. All right, let's look at our 24-hour. Actually, we're just going to do the old 5-day total just to get a bigger picture of what our rainfall really added up to over the past few days. And look at these yellows. The yellow, at least 2 inches. Then you get even higher amounts farther to the south. I mean, we're talking nearly 7 inches closer to the Gulf Coast. And you get down into Freer even, nearly 6 inches, southern Atascosa County, 2.6 inches officially. At the airport, we've had 1.4 over the past 2 days. And we still could add to that a little bit. Look at that, 88, the high temperature today, 82 yesterday, 88 today. And with the passing showers, it kept our temperatures at bay and gave us this familiar scene. I wish we could see this more frequently. Just good, I wouldn't call it flash flooding, just minor street flooding, just good runoff that then goes into our waterways and especially into the aquifer. Now, the new drought monitor updated every Thursday, and it still shows the extreme and severe drought in our area, especially hill country and just west of San Antonio. I'm going to isolate that area, basically outline it in white, and then show you the rainfall totals over the past 2 days just in that area. Best is basically from Eagle Pass over toward Dilley. That's where we had the highest accumulations, and I'll pop up some of those accumulations, and they were on the order of several inches, 3 to 4 inches down farther to the south, and Zavala County, Uvalde about 0.95, around Medina Lake nearly an inch. Obviously, I wish we could have taken some of the heavier rain and moved it into that drought-stricken area, but unfortunately, we don't control that. Rain chances at 20% tomorrow afternoon, a few isolated pop-ups, and then 20% every day next week. 76 in the morning, 84 at noon, 90 degrees the high temperature, and again, just that 20% chance. Very humid as well, feeling the stickiness. Castroville 91 tomorrow, Bulverde at 89, which is actually a little below average again. And then our temperatures in the 90s this weekend into next week. But notice we're not talking triple digits. Part of our daily rain chances next week have to do with where the heat high is going to be. We're going to talk more about that at 6:45.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thanks, Adam.
You know, Larry, you missed Adam talking about his barefoot walks.
Barefoot walks.
Have you heard him ever talk about barefoot walks?
I haven't, no.
That's apparently something he does.
Okay.
He says it's good for the soul.
Yeah, I've heard that. Other people say that as well.
Yeah.
It hurts when the acorns have
dropped. No, your time's done.
It hurts when the acorns have dropped.
Sometimes he can be kind of a heel.
Well, and that's why you wear shoes outside. All right, let's talk sports, all right? So we're going to talk the College World Series. The Aggies and the Volunteers getting ready to face off, and one will claim their first national championship on the diamond. And New Braunfels Canyon football, they hired a familiar face. Coming up.
I'm not too surprised that we're facing all SEC teams. We had 2 SEC teams on our side, 3 including us. So it doesn't surprise me too much.
Texas A&M will have to beat another SEC school to claim the College World Series in big board sports. Texas A&M has beaten 2 SEC schools at the College World Series, and now they're getting ready to face another SEC team for the national championship. A&M beat Florida 3-2, then Kentucky 5-1, and then Florida again 6-0 last night to advance to the CWS finale, where they will face the number 1 team in the nation, the Tennessee Volunteers.
I'm a college baseball fan too. I'm tired of leaving before the championship. So, personally, it's awesome. It's fun to get to be a part of. Excited to play an awesome Tennessee team, one of the best college teams that they really have a great team. Not just great players, but they have a great team. I'm excited for the 12th man. A&M is an awesome fan base and just incredibly proud and awesome people that you want to reward the commitment that they've made, and I think we've done that. Obviously, we'd like to win the whole thing, but it's been a good year to this point.
Game 1 between the Aggies and Vols is Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Game 2 is Sunday afternoon at 1, live here on KSAT 12. And Game 3, if necessary, will go down Monday night at 6. One side will win its first baseball national championship. We stopped by New Braunfels Canyon High School the other day, where the Cougars were going through morning conditioning drills. And look who's back in town, former Judson head football coach Sean McCullough, who's now the head coach of the Cougs. We spent some time with him and had to ask, what's it going to be like for him to go up against Judson in week 6 of the season?
It's going to be a bittersweet deal. I'll always be fond of my days growing up there. Some of my best friends, my defensive coordinator and I played together at Judson. It's a special place, but that Thursday night when we get to duke it out, it's going to be us against them, and we're going to do everything we can to try to put a product on the field that gives us the best opportunity to win.
Every new coaching opportunity comes with positives and negatives. So since coming back to the San Antonio area from his time in the Houston area, what has Coach McCullough seen from his players that's really jumped out right away?
There's a change in the talent level here. I don't know if they've ever had this many kids that have an opportunity to go and play at the next level. Jackson Regan, running back, has an offer. We have a defensive back. Tapiwa's got an offer. We have 2 offensive linemen that are 6'5 plus. So there's a lot of talent, and to be quite honest with you, it reminds me of some of the talent that I was fortunate enough to play with out in the Houston area. So that's jumped out.
All that talent for the Cougars will be put on display when they open the season against Austin High School. All right, he started out at UIW as a walk-on pole vaulter, and now Kyle Siraki has a shot at making the U.S. track and field team in the decathlon for the 2024 Olympics. The decathlon is a beast of its own, comprised of 10 events, but Siraki is one of the top athletes in the country for the decathlon, coming off a historic 2024 season with the Cardinals. Before taking off to Eugene, Oregon for the Olympic trials, Siraki said he's feeling relaxed and prepared for the moment, and he's going to give it everything he's got.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to track his progress.
We
too.
sure will.
Great
Yep.
if he made the team.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
Doc Talk is coming up next.
All right, it's kiddo time on Doc Talk. Your questions we're going to take to Dr. Dina Tom, pediatric hospitalist with University Health and UT Health San Antonio, all things children related.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, our first question comes from Kathleen. What do I do if my child is bitten by a rattlesnake?
All right, Kathleen. So snake bites are altogether not that common. So about 7,000 people a year get bit by snakes, and only 5% of snakes are poisonous. But rattlesnakes are by far the most common type of snake that someone will get bit by. So there are some kind of anecdotal tales or old wives' tales about certain things that they tell you to do, which I'm going to tell you today not to do.
Yes.
Okay.
So if your child gets bit by a rattlesnake, the first thing to do is to remain calm. I know that's very difficult if your child's been bit by a snake, but stay calm, reassure your child that they will be okay, and then remove your child from the area where there was a snake. Do not go chase the snake. Don't try and catch the snake or take a picture of the snake, really the best thing is to remove your child from the area where the snake was and call 911 immediately. You really want to seek medical attention right away. There are a few things not to do. So don't try and suck any venom out. Don't apply a tourniquet, and don't put ice water or ice cold anything on the wound. So you really want to keep your child as still as possible until EMS gets there. And if you can, have them sit or lay in a position where the area that was bit is lower than the level of their heart.
Okay.
So that is something that you can do.
Yeah, but the first thing you do is call 911.
Yes.
Get your kid out of there.
Stay calm and call 911.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to know.
All right, what is the reason for my baby having constant spit-ups? That's the next question.
Okay, so spit-ups in babies, especially newborn babies, is very normal. It's normal, and a lot of it is reassurance to parents that it is normal. Babies are not strong. We know that, right? Babies can't sit up on their own. They can't really control their limbs. They're kind of floppy. Well, so is the little muscle that separates their esophagus, where they swallow milk, and their stomach, where they hold milk. So it's really common for that muscle to be weak and for babies to spit up, especially if they, need a burp, or if they change position, or if you're bouncing them a little bit and they spit up. Now, I get the question of, well, when should I worry because my baby seems to spit up a lot? I would worry if your child's not gaining weight, if they're eating regularly and they're not gaining weight, or they seem like they're spitting up the whole bottle and they're really distressed by the spit up. Then talk to your doctor.
Yeah, sometimes you could change formulas, things like that.
Exactly.
Okay, so next question. How do you know if your child has early diabetes?
Yes, this is a great question. So we used to say that things like type 2 diabetes was adult onset diabetes. We don't say that anymore because we see that in children. And type 1 diabetes is really an autoimmune disorder that we do see in children. But both of them present very similarly. If your child is thirsty all the time, really drinking tons of fluids, they never feel like they're satisfied. They're getting up in the middle of the night to pee. They seem to be urinating all the time. Maybe they've lost weight unintentionally and you're seeing that. When they come to the hospital, usually what we see as pediatricians is they have stomach upset, vomiting, they might have lost a lot of fluids. So the biggest thing is really drinking lots of water, peeing a lot. If that is unusual for your child and new and now they're losing weight, that would be a sign they need to get their blood sugar checked.
A lot of the things you described, though, when you talk about having a big thirst, things like that, are things that happen in the summer with kids anyway. So how do you know? I mean, it's got to be an excessive amount.
It's an excessive amount. And usually parents, they notice the difference because, they're going outside and running and it's hot and they drink a bunch of water. But if you're noticing your child's getting up a lot at night to pee, that's not normal. Children don't typically do that. Or they're wetting the bed. Maybe they're having accidents. And they're just guzzling water. There's no amount of water that can, and that's because their blood sugar is really high. And so their body's trying to dilute the amount of sugar that's in their blood.
Yeah, okay. Time for our next question. My daughter had an innocent heart murmur. Is there anything that we need to worry about?
This comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And really, most children at some point in their childhood will have a murmur. And so if your pediatrician or a cardiologist tells you as a parent that your child has an innocent murmur, you can trust that it's truly innocent, which means it will likely go away. There's nothing to worry about. We see this in children all the time. There's several different types of innocent murmurs, but oftentimes it's just because the heart in a child sits right up against the chest. And so that blood flow that's going through the heart, normally we can hear with our stethoscope. We know as pediatricians and cardiologists, when we listen to enough hearts, we know what's concerning and what's not concerning. But an innocent murmur basically means you don't need to worry about it. It will go away on its own. There's really no risk that they will have problems. Now, if you're wondering at what point would I worry it's not innocent, typically those are signs that your child is having trouble climbing the stairs, running with their classmates. They really seem to be struggling to breathe, or their heart is racing, they feel faint or they're passing out. Those are really not typical signs of an innocent murmur.
Yeah, innocent murmur, just like it sounds.
It's
an innocent murmur.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's different than a careless whisper because that's more like a Wham! George
Yes.
Michael song. So,
yeah.
I'm so glad you're here.
I know, me too. All right, if you have your questions for Doc Talk, please send them with this QR code. It happens every Thursday at 6:30. Dr. Dina, Tom, as always, appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks
and
for the humor.
putting up with us.
Yeah.
We'll
Or
be right
at least
back.
me, right? Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
True. True, true. A second day of rain in South Texas. It's been great to have it, but we know it's got to come to an end sometime.
Yeah, and is that end just a couple hours away, Adam?
It is. It's just a few hours away till the downpours come to an end, and it'll leave us with just a humid, very muggy night ahead of us. Leon Springs, Roland's backyard, 0.79 inches over the past day. Shirts, about 0.79. A little over a quarter of an inch in Rick's backyard in Bernie, but we've added a little bit to that. Mico, 0.85. Look at Lavernia, 6 miles south at Rogers' backyard, 2.5 inches of rain. That was good to see. I'll be back to talk about the heat high, where it is now, where it's going, and what that means to our rain chances and temperatures in just a bit.
All right, so it's kind of like, I called it indecisive weather. Can't decide if it wants to rain all day or be sunny all day. And you know what? All this rain I will take, no matter what the decision is.
Exactly. And luckily it didn't come at a cost. You know, so often it's from a severe storm that causes damage or flash flooding or we get large hail. That wasn't the case. This was free rain. This was just good rain. Now, I want to show you our KSAT Connect, and you can access this through our weather app, but this is a great shot. This is closer to the coastline where they had between 5 and 7 inches of rain. But you see the cattle on that last little island that's left from all the heavy rainfall and the runoff. And of course, those conditions have improved since that photo was taken. Spring Branch, look at that. Inches on the left-hand side of the scale, just over 2 inches of rain. Kerrville, about 1.5 inches in this rain gauge in Kerrville. And this is the view in San Antonio earlier today from these gully washers that came through. 1604 and Judson Road, apartment parking lot. High water there briefly, but you know, still had the high water, ponding of water, and especially the construction zones around our area. They are notorious for having poor drainage. So still, even after the rain, exercise more caution than usual in those areas. Look at that downpour that hit today. Mixture of sun, clouds, and downpours. Very nice. This is what we needed. I wish we could have squeezed out even more, but I'm going to at least still be grateful for what we got out there, especially because yesterday's rain was just such a good, slow, steady rainfall. Today was a lot heavier, and you look at the action and it's starting to really fizzle out east of San Antonio. That's where it's coming from. That's why I point that out. But still, from San Marcos to New Braunfels, some heavy rain there, a little bit closer to Bernie, another quick splash and dash shower there, and near Medina Lake Reservoir, a quick hitting splash and dash shower. We get up into the hill country, finally getting some downpours that'll give you a good quick quarter to even half inch within some of these downpours. So this is nice to see. Good to have all that activity. And just over the past 24 hours, you look at the rainfall totals, and the dark green is radar estimates of an inch, of at least an inch. But I want to zoom right into the street level here on the south side of town. This is where we had some slightly higher accumulations near Palo Alto College and I-35. So 410, I-35, get down to Aragon Street, Tedder Street, Bradley Street, McNarney Street. McNarney Street included as well. And check that out. Look at that, 2.2 inches of rain right near Doolittle Street as well. So it's good to see that. I like that. Next 7 days for temperatures. 90s, near 90 tomorrow. But notice the average is 93. So below average again tomorrow. And then we're into the low to mid 90s this weekend and next week. We're not talking triple digits. You look at the high temperatures across the nation, and the temperatures, what's more important is departure from average. And in parts of New England and the mid-Atlantic, they're 10 to 15 degrees above average with some isolated record high temperatures. That's because the big upper level heat high is directly over them. Because the heat high wasn't over us, the door was open for that tropical moisture and the disturbance because the winds flow clockwise around that high, so we had that flow off the Gulf of Mexico. Now this is going to modify. It's going to briefly pass overhead and not really have a big impact on our temperatures, but it's going to settle. By next week, it's going to be settled over the desert southwest, not directly overhead here. So keeping those temperatures in the 90s for highs. And notice this northerly flow aloft. Whenever we get that, we can get leftovers of showers and storms and thunderstorm complexes from North Texas and even Oklahoma. So we do have daily small opportunities in the forecast. Just like a couple of weeks ago when it was, well, let's see what develops to the north. We can get the leftovers. 76 in the morning, 90 for the high temperature. Low clouds early. Will look like it's going to rain, but we won't see much in terms of showers. 20% chance in the afternoon, but highs near 90 and then into the 90s as we get into next week. Speaking of temperatures, oh yeah. It's always important to have a good, accurate, handcrafted thermometer. Steve Anderson of San Antonio. Congratulations. You're the winner of homemade thermometer. Go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing. And I've been working on a batch of thermometers. And actually, Mr. Anderson, you can have a choice to make, assuming we can get you here quick enough. You got a choice between various types of wood and patterns and whatnot. But the thermometers are all great. They're all accurate, all highly calibrated, of course.
Of course. I mean, that kind of goes without saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love him.
Thank you, Adam.
Yep.
The Buzz up next.
Usually, fine wine gets better with age, right? But you probably don't want to drink a glass this old. Scientists discovered the world's oldest wine in Spain. So how old? It's about 2,000 years old. It was in a sealed tomb that a family first discovered back in 2019 when having some work done to their home in the Spanish town of Carmona.
Yeah, the wine in a glass funeral urn that had been remarkably well preserved. An analyst reveals it was white wine. Even though it had developed a reddish hue, scientists also found a man's ashes were mixed in with the wine. So I detect some wood, some moss, and great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa.
I was wondering when you said the urn part. Yikes.
You got to earn it.
The Las Vegas Sphere has quickly become an iconic part of the Vegas skyline. It's about to get an update. It's adding sound to match the exterior display. The CEO teased this new feature sometime last month. The audio system will sync with the content that's displayed on the outside of the exosphere.
What kind of speakers are they going to have for that? Can you imagine?
No.
Exo Audio will make its debut on the exosphere as part of their 4th of July celebration. The 4th also marks the 1-year anniversary of the Sphere. The show has been described as a tribute to art, science, wonder, and the history of Nevada.
This thing is wild.
It is. I'm going to go there I'm going to go inside one of these days.
Yeah, got to get a good band.
Yeah. Sorry I missed you too, but it's all right.
We'll be right back. That is all our time here on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you tonight on the Night Beat after hockey.